Well, hello and welcome to my channel. You know, I had posted a teaser trailer about a special New Year's Eve event that I was going to do with Scott Brown and Jspy, but for whatever reason, we just couldn't get it to work. So some of you guys may have seen that video and thought, man, I need to learn how to paint a gorilla head down and dirty. Well, it's not going to be a live stream, but I am going to show you how I would paint like a gorilla army if I were going to put one together real quickly and not use a lot of like time to do it. So here I have a head sculpt that's been primed black, and that's important because what we're going to do is we're going to do a dry brush on this, and I'm choosing a color that's kind of like ape color in my opinion. If you're doing a lot of gorillas, I say get yourself some Xandri dust. It's by Citadel because it gives you a really good I guess ape flesh tone. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over here to my paper towel, and I'm going to get rid of like 90% of the paint. You can see there's very little on there, and I'm just going to dry brush over his face. And you can see I'm not putting on a lot of paint all at once. It's just what you call a dry brush, and a dry brush usually picks up the details, like the highlights of the sculpt, and leaves the recesses kind of darker. And that's what we're going for here. You notice I want to keep those eyes kind of dark. And this is not going to be highly detailed. But like I said earlier, it's just a down and dirty kind of thing if you're painting a lot of gorillas. Or maybe you don't have a lot of skill and you want to just have something that you can kind of like be proud of. It's, you know, you can say, yeah, I did that custom. And you can see that's coming along pretty nicely. If you get a little bit out in the fur, don't worry about it. We're going to do some more dry brush there. So let me get a little bit more paint. And I'm going to try to get the areas that I didn't get the first pass. And again, you want to keep those darker areas. So try not to cover too much. It's better to have a drier brush than a wetter brush, if that makes sense. Because you see I'm getting some coverage, but I'm maintaining those darker areas. And that's exactly what I want. And you know, when you do a dry brush, it's probably going to ruin your brush. This one has been a dry brush for me for a while. And you can see it's it doesn't hold a point anymore. And that's what's going to happen to your brushes. So choose one that you really don't care about anymore. I think I'm almost done with the face. I should have put a timer on there because it would have been interesting to see how long it would take to do a down and dirty ape. Looks like I still need a little bit on that side. Well, I'll get a timestamp at the end, so I'll let you know what the overall time was. But I don't anticipate it being very long. You know what? That one area up there I do need to get. See, it's... There we go. All right, so that's done. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off my brush. I'm going to try to keep it dry still. And I'm going to get my brown paint. This one right here is called Rhinox Hide. And it's a really, really dark brown. You can go with like a burnt umber or something. And this is just going to be for the fur. Again, I'm just taking some paint. And I'm doing a dry brush. Because you'll see here that I've got some paint on the fur itself. And I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to bring it down with a brown. And I'm going to continue the brown throughout the hair. Not only does this cover up any over travel that you've done with your Xandri dust, but it's going to give us a contrast. So you have a little bit of a, not so much a contrast I should say, but a highlight for the fur. See how it's like giving you like a brownish tint? Looks like I'm gonna need some more. And you notice the ears aren't painted. That's kind of like on purpose, because we're gonna have to go back and we're gonna have to paint those kind of like by hand. Can't do a dry brush on it because there's too much fur around it. And you'll see that I have some areas here that I'm gonna have to cover by hand too that couldn't get with the dry brush of the brown. So that's what we got so far. Okay, I think I can clean my brush now. And let me move over to a thinner brush, like this. I'm gonna take my Xandri, and I'm gonna kind of like touch up any areas that I might have missed. Like I'm gonna do his snout, just to make sure that that's covered. Maybe his upper lip. You can see I'm not putting a lot of paint on here. I'm just kind of like touching up on the areas that should have gotten some dry brush but didn't for whatever reason. This is probably the most difficult part. See right there, I'm trying to bring it to the edge of the fur line. But again, you don't want to cover any of the dark areas that you want to keep. You're just doing a very, very kind of like light touch-up. See, I should have gotten under that chin. All right, that's all I'm doing there. And then I'm coming back with my my brown. Actually, no, I think I'm good there. Okay, let me do the ears real quick. I'm gonna use that same brush and I'm just gonna trace out the ears. This one looks like it's covered by fur. Okay, first ear. And you'll notice I'm just using the tip of my brush so I still maintain some darker areas in there. So it gives it a little depth. And I'm just kind of like tracing out the ears. That one looks like I messed up a little bit, but I've got some black paint. If you mess up a little bit, there's a paint that's called Abaddon Black, and it's also by Citadel, and it's a really, really dark black. And it should go well with your primer that you used. Okay. And then you can use this to kind of like touch up any areas that you kind of like went too far with your dry brush. And if it looks too dark, that's okay, because we can do a dry brush with your brown, kind of bring that back. So I'm just kind of like touching up real quick. kind of like bordering the face, making sure that I have a nice clean edge. So you can see how that's kind of cleaned it up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to try the eyes. I'm going to need a small brush for this. I went to Michael's and I got this little set of teeny brushes. Well, they were individual. And they're so small. Okay, for the eyes, I'm going to use an antique parchment. And this is, I got this paint from Walmart. Yeah, just take a deep breath. I don't know about you, but eyes are the hardest thing for me to paint. This little brush, however, is just helping me out a lot. Looks like I went too far. That's okay. I can just come back with my black and I can put it underneath his eye and it'll take care of any like over travel that I have there. So let me get my black paint again. I'm gonna use my teeny tiny brush. You can see how that kind of cleaned it up. You know what? It looks pretty good. I'm gonna do it on the other side. Yeah, pretty neat. Okay, and the last step I think is just to paint the eyes. You know what, do I want to do the... I have this stuff, it's called, I think it's Cadian Flesh Tone. Yeah. I'm wondering if, nah, I shouldn't paint the... I will paint the eyes though. I'm going to use that same brown that I had, that Rhinox hide, and I'm going to drop some brown in there. You know what, I think I'm going to do orange first. I've been doing this to give my eyes like kind of a layered look. And so I'm gonna drop some orange in there first. Like if I were doing the whole like iris in orange. And that's kind of like what you get. And then I'm going to go back with my brown. And that's going to be the kind of like pupil, I guess. Looks pretty good. All right, where's my brown? Rhinox hide. And this is going to go right in the center. All right. And I think to finish it off, I'm going to add a wash. I've got a couple of washes here. This one is Agrax Earthshade, and I'm going to use that for the face. A little too much. I'm going to pull it off. Okay, and the second one I'm going to use is a black one. It's called Nolan's Oil, and I'm going to use a glossy one because I want his hair to kind of like look glossy. And you're just covering the entire hair part with this. If you get in the ear, that's not a big deal either. Should have used a bigger brush. It would have been a lot quicker, especially if I'm doing a speed run. Wow. I'm gonna let him dry and I'm gonna get him dressed and we're gonna take a look at him. But yeah, Down and Dirty Ape. Well, my timer says about 18 minutes. So Down and Dirty Ape in 18 minutes. Not including the dry time. And not including the time it took me to spray this once it was dried, this matte clear enamel. I just do that to kind of like protect the finish and give it a uniform consistency. But yeah, for 18 minutes, I think he looks pretty good. And you can see there wasn't a lot of skill involved. The hardest part is the eyes. I always have trouble with the eyes. But you know what? You can use that black that I showed you to do any touch-up. That's this color right here. This is called Abaddon Black. And this I use for my touch-up. And there weren't a lot of paints that I used. I used the Rhinox hide for the brown dry brush on the hair and then for the eyes. But before I painted that, I used this orange, Harvest Orange, to give me a good highlight. Let's see what else did I use. I also used a parchment, antique parchment. Both of those were from Walmart. This is the main color here for the face. It's called Xandri Dust. That's a Citadel paint. And then I used a Nolan's Gloss for the hair to give it that sheen. And then Agrax Earthshade was the shade that we used to kind of shade in the flesh. So those things together gave me a nice, really neat looking result. Now this sculpt you won't be able to find. A late friend of mine gave it to me as a gift, but there are other ones out there that you can use the same technique on. I got this one right here at World's Greatest, and instead of the, let's see, I used a brown base instead of a black. Let's see, where is it? I had a flesh here. Yeah, I use this flesh tone. It's called Cadian Flesh Tone. So you can just swap out different flesh tones. You know, this one would be a brown, like base coat, the primer. It'd be a dark brown, and then you just layer on top of that. So you can do a variety of things. So that's one of them I've done. I've also done, where is he? Did a Dr. Zayas too. Again, using the dry brush technique. You can see these are a lot crisper, and it has to do with the miniature, or the head. You know, these are a much better head sculpt than this one right here. This one's very, very rough. but it was a copy of a cast that, like I said, a friend of mine gave me. So, you know, I wanted to get him done. I mean, he looks pretty cool. I need another ape for my ape army for conquest, right? And he also, my friend sent me this one too. I use that same technique on this one. I think this is a copy of a NECA head that he casted. I'm going to try to get into casting. I think it looks like it's a lot of fun. You know, I think my birthday's coming up, and I think for my birthday, I'm going to be getting a casting or a molding set. So wish me luck. I should be doing some molding, but that's it for the Down and Dirty Ape. I am so sorry that we had those technical difficulties and we couldn't live stream last night. But you know, if you stick with us, I'm going to try another live stream next week, and I think I'm going to do the masked version of this guy right here. This is a mutant that I did on a live stream on Facebook, and we're going to do the guy with the mask. You know, he looks like a normal human until he takes his mask off. But yeah, we're going to do that next week, hopefully. I've got the body here. I got to get the head. I have the head coming. So, hope to see you next Sunday night. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm hoping to do that live stream. But until then, I have another video coming out Saturday. I think it's going to be Ukla, the mock. You know, I'm really excited about my Thundar set, and unless something else comes up that just snatches my attention away, I'm going to be presenting that video. It's already in the can. I just need to put it out there. But you know, we'll see how it goes. So until next time. Stay safe, be cool. I'll see you guys later. Bye.